Welcome to the CowCast by Willard Jones Real Estate. In this weekly podcast, we explore the most hard-hitting commercial real estate stories, focusing on those that affect us, all of us, real estate professionals, executives, investors, friends, and fans. We'll also discuss some updates and features of our own, including new spaces, updates, tours, and photos. Plus, we'll always sprinkle in something fun to start your weekend off right. All stories and sources are linked in the show notes. So settle in, grab some Green River, and enjoy this week's CowCast. Tech companies are spearheading the country's office leasing recovery, not only adding hundreds of thousands of jobs between 2020 and 2021, but leasing millions of square feet of office space as a result. A recent study found that despite the pandemic's emphasis on digitization and remote work, the tech industry has increased its physical footprint and emphasized in-person collaboration and gathering. Fulton Market is a prime example, and in fact is purported to develop a multi-million-dollar collection of loft office buildings in the near future. Fulton Market, as you're probably sick of hearing by now, is the tech powerhouse of downtown Chicago. In addition to the massive mixed-use project we mentioned last week, another 77,000 square feet of buildings and a parking lot will provide even more office space for the movers and shakers of the city. More on this later in the episode. With no shortage of talent and innovation, Chicago's loop-centered workforce is bound to bounce back. Besides, we can't imagine another Chicago summer spent indoors. Although with the weather this week, we can't imagine another summer at all. Stay warm out there, folks. What is heating up, however, is the ever-nearing sale of 311 South Wacker Drive and 225 West Washington Street. In two deals totaling over $400 million, investors are betting on the future of the downtown office market. Although pending property tax changes could throw a wrench into the future leasing efforts, the Wacker Drive building saw multiple upgrades and amenity additions several years ago, making it desirable to tenants returning to the office post-pandemic. Office building valuations have fallen significantly as a result of COVID-19, but the building sales have recently increased, showing at the very least that the people with the deepest pockets have faith in Chicago's ability to overcome adversity. As they say in Chicago, or at least we do, another day, another Fulton Market deal. Sterling Bay is in negotiations to purchase 2.7 acres of land in Fulton Market, for which it is slated to pay over $900 per square foot for a total of over $100 million. This is the largest development site in the Fulton Market neighborhood and is located near the company's own office building projects. According to The Real Deal, quote, "While Chicago's office market is still struggling to return to pre-pandemic levels, demand for Class A buildings in Fulton Market pushed rents to $43.36 per square foot in the fourth quarter last year, the highest among the city's downtown submarkets," unquote. We'd like to give a shout out to Fulton Market for always giving us something to talk about on our podcast. This is the point in the CowCast where we share some lighthearted entertainment, partly for our own sanity, but also for your pure enjoyment. To start us off, we have a segment we like to call On This Week in History. On January 25th, 1934, Chicago gangster and Midwestern outlaw John Dillinger was captured in Tucson, Arizona after months of evading police. The capture was something out of a movie. A shootout with police and an attempt to run resulted in him eventually dropping his baby machine gun and crying, "My God, how did you know I was in town? I'll be the laughingstock of the country. How could a Hicktown police force ever suspect me?" Dillinger and his companions were extradited to Indiana and sent to prison, but escaped shortly thereafter. It wasn't until July of 1934, after robberies, murders, and plastic surgery to evade capture, that Dillinger was finally found and killed. Legend has it that the alley where he was killed in Chicago remains haunted by the spirit of the woman in red who allegedly sold him out to the FBI. Finally, let's round off the week with some non-ghost related positivity. A West Side organization called New Moms is giving 25 single mothers a plethora of resources to support their academic growth and enrichment. On top of a $500 stipend, New Moms will provide technology, supplies, child care assistance, and academic coaching in order to tackle the low graduation rates of single moms from underfunded areas. You can volunteer, hire a graduate of the New Moms program, and learn more at newmoms.org. Thank you so much for tuning into this week's CowCast. Be sure to subscribe to our newsletter for daily Willard Jones content. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at WillardJonesCRE, and be sure to leave us a positive review on Spotify and Apple Music. If you're currently listening to this at home, let us help you find an office where you can listen to us on company time. Contact us at 312-263-8787 and at willardjones.com. Have a great weekend and stay safe. The CowCast is produced by Willard Jones Real Estate and is narrated by Amanda Friedlander. Views and ideas shared in this podcast are our own and are not representative of the publications mentioned in the podcast. Music and sound effects by freesound.org. Sources and links are located in the show notes.